Well, it's fall right now, and you know what time of year it is. It's time for business planning and marketing planning. And listen, without a clearly articulated business strategy and business plan, marketers are pretty much dead in the water. You need this information to inform what campaigns that you produce, what content you're writing, and so forth, let alone KPIs to know whether or not you're making an impact to the business and helping the company achieve those business goals. So today I brought in a business consultant, Jack Barber from Exotek, to talk about why a business strategy and business plan is so important to marketing, some of the elements that go into that plan, and resources that you can use within your own company if you lack an established framework for business planning. Let's do this.
Welcome to Content Marketing Engineered, your source for building trust and generating demand with technical content. Here is your host, Wendy Covey.
Hi, and welcome to Content Marketing Engineered. On each episode, I'll break down an industry trend, challenge, or best practice in marketing to technical audiences. You'll meet colleagues and industry friends of mine who will stop by to tell you their stories. And my goal is that you leave each episode feeling inspired and ready to take action. Before we jump in, I'd like to give a quick shout out to TREW Marketing. TREW is a content marketing agency based in beautiful Austin, Texas, and serves companies focused in technical industries. For more information, visit trewmarketing.com. And now on with our podcast. Hi there. Well, today I'm here with Jack Barber. He's a senior business consultant at Exotek. Thanks so much for being here, Jack.
It's great to be with you, Wendy.
You and I have known each other for quite a few years, but our listeners may not know you. So before we dive in, tell us a little bit about your business background and what led you to Exotek.
Sure. Well, I was born and raised right here in Austin, Texas, same place you're located. After obtaining my EE degree from the University of Texas, I found this little company 30 plus years ago called National Instruments. There were about 100 people at the time. And I spent my first 6 years with them in the technical marketing of their flagship product, LabVIEW. It was really a great product, great times. And then the second part of my career, I managed the system integrator program for National Instruments. That was actually about 15 years. And it was during that time that I became really passionate that the best way to grow that portion of NI's business was to help the system integrators themselves be better businesses and therefore be able to win larger projects and channel more products for National Instruments. So I did that for 15 years, helped NI start up its own services business. And then after my 30th year anniversary, I really wanted to get back to this passion of helping businessmen run successful system integration businesses. So joined Exotek. Exotek's a small boutique firm that's all we do. We focus on system integration and consulting for those folks in the test, measurement, and automation industry.
And what a great place for you, given, like you said, that was exactly what you were doing while at NI. And I know that both you and I worked with those partners over the years and saw that they needed so many resources to be able to run their business effectively. And as a small company, it's always hard to find people qualified to give them business coaching and marketing advice. So it's a wonderful niche that Exotek fills.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and then you and I had some fun over the years working together on a users conference called NI Week that I think when I first came aboard, it was 1996, 97. And even then it was starting to grow pretty rapidly, huh?
Yeah. That was an interesting time because right there in the mid 1990s is when we combined our user conference and our partner conference into what we called NI Week, and it really took off. And at the time, because I was the partner program manager, I was tasked with managing that event. But fortunately, you arrived just in time because as that thing took off, it got well beyond my ability to both run the partner program and manage that huge event for National Instruments. My recollection of it, Wendy, is, within a couple of years, teams of people working on making that event successful. And I just kind of stood by in awe and watched what you did. I came more just I was kind of advising from the kind of high level on the event, and then you were running
Sure.
with it from there. So
I never could forget how it started so small and then got to the point where it needed not only year-round attention, but a full-time employee just focused on this one event.
yeah,
So
I mean,
it grew
thousands of people come
substantially.
to it. Well, pre-COVID, thousands of people came to it.
Right,
So hopefully
right.
we'll get back to doing that again. So
Well, for those of you listening, though, we're not here to talk about user conferences. We're here to talk about strategic planning. And this is the perfect time to have you on the show, Jack, because boy, this is the busy season, right? I know for Exotek and certainly for True Marketing, we are crazy busy with strategic planning.
yeah, absolutely, no doubt. You know, between now and the end of the year, we'll be spending a significant amount of time with some of our, I'll say, most successful clients that do take the time to revisit their strategic plans and uh, adapt them and update them for the coming year. And certainly in this environment, no better time to be figuring out what you're going to be doing in the next normal than now.
In the next normal, I like that. So, Jack, here's a scenario that I'm faced with sometimes. Companies will call, they'll want to work with True Marketing, and my first question back is to ask, do they have a formal business plan in place? Do they have a business strategy in
Mhm.
place? And sadly, sometimes the answer is no. And because of that, I don't feel like we're positioned well to work with them. And
Yeah.
so what I wanted to focus on today is why it's so important to have that and to help marketers and business owners that are listening understand what a strategic plan is, what a business plan is, and how they intersect with sales and marketing. So let's start with the fundamentals, Jack. What is the difference between a strategic plan and a business plan?
That's a great question, Wendy, because quite frankly, not everybody makes that distinction. A strategic plan is really about the future, what your vision of the company is, who you want to be when you grow up, kind of thing. Whereas a business plan is more operational. What is your target for the next year? I mean, a lot of people. The business plan may just be their budget, quite frankly. But with respect to marketing, marketing is often just a line item in a business plan, where on the other hand, marketing is essential to your strategic plan. Um, I like to think of them as essentially bookends for effective marketing. Your strategic plan provides the inputs you need for your marketing strategy, and then your marketing strategy delivers the outputs that really fuel you to be able to meet your business plans.
Okay. And so when I think about measurement, where does measurement fall in that? Is that in your business plan or is it in both?
Good question. I think of strategic plan as being more like targets, whereas a business plan has, more your KPIs and your
Got it.
measurables.
Okay, great. And so when it comes to strategy planning, usually companies do this on an annual basis, or I would argue at least should. And so since a strategic plan is more long-term, is that something they revisit every year, or is it really business planning that happens every year?
That's really our advice is you should review your strategic plan annually before making your business plans. You know, we've heard a lot from our clients during this time frame that it's hard to make long-term strategic plans given the pandemic. Um, but in our opinion, a strong vision and strategic plan is more, think of it more as like a North Star. It's a
Mhm.
heading that you want to go, where your business is moving towards, as opposed to something super specific, I'll say. Um, Whereas your business plan, once you've taken a chance to, true your course up back to the North Star or modify which star you're going to follow, then obviously your short-term tactics must adapt to the current situation. And certainly that's applicable in this unusual environment that we're in.
Yeah, no kidding. So I could see where a business plan isn't just revisited every year, but very much a living document that needs to be nimble to current environments. And make some assumptions to obviously make sure that there's a framework for 2021, but also be agile enough to change with the conditions that we'll be presented with in 6 months from now that we can't even anticipate right now, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about how a business plan relates to marketing. So, what are the aspects within a business plan that affect marketing, or how does marketing influence what goes into a business plan for that matter?
Yeah, absolutely. Wendy, as you well know, part of a strategic plan is identifying the core values and the purpose and the vision of the company. When you consider those things, I say they kind of set the tone for your marketing efforts. You want your marketing efforts to be consistent with those values, obviously consistent with that purpose and that vision. You're trying to attract clients that are the clients that you want
Mhm.
for the future, right? As well as maintain the ones that you see as part of your future.
So that reminds me of company messaging. So brand positioning and messaging, and how you talk about your company and your short pitch and your long narrative, and then how that carries through to every piece of content, every page on your website, making sure that you're consistent back with that corporate
Yeah.
vision and long-term strategy of where you see the company going in 3, 4, 5 years time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in some sense, Wendy, we follow y'all's guidance in this areas, not only for our clients but for ourselves. Um, you if you're going to do marketing and it's going to be effective, it needs to, um, you know, not just focus on the target market and have pertinent sort of information, but really a lot of things that you guys preach about the persona, understanding what their careabouts are, and adjusting your message to resonate with those careabouts is key to effective marketing.
Yeah.
And that
Well,
comes from your strategic plan.
it really does. And it's interesting. I never really thought about this distinction between the strategy and the plan, but I'm getting into it because now I can see the differences in how marketing is informed by both, but in different ways. And so I'll
Yeah.
give you a scenario that I run across. So, you know, I mentioned earlier that some companies don't have a formal business plan, but sometimes they do, but it's lacking in detail. So it's lacking in the how. So
Mm-hmm.
I want to be X millions of dollars in 3 years. That'll be there. And to do that, maybe operationally, they know they need a certain number of salespeople or whatever those, operational things that support that revenue goal. But I'll get this question of, well, which industry verticals do you think I should focus on, True Marketing? And my answer is always back to them, no, no, no. You need to tell us where, how you're going to achieve those goals, which verticals make the most sense to your company. And then knowing that, I can do a lot with that information on the marketing side. So I'm just curious how you guys facilitate the how that comes with getting from point A to point B.
Yeah. Picking target markets is honestly a topic. We could spend an entire webcast on that topic alone. So
Fair
I don't know if
enough.
I can do it justice in short, but yeah, it is a collaborative effort with our clients because we can't say that for them, but we can help. Um, with various strategic planning tools and whatnot to help elicit that thought for themselves and have them become convicted
Oh,
about their own target
absolutely. Yeah.
markets. So,
Another thing I'm sure that you guys dabble into, which is so important to marketers, is what is that operational structure? And so, for instance, we'll get in a situation where things are going well on the marketing side and we're starting to generate leads and there's momentum, and then the leads are passed over to sales and, so how do you help leaders make sure they have the right staffing model and operational infrastructure to handle growth?
yeah, my take on it, Wendy, is, and certainly within our particular client base, the system integrators in this more industrial space, um, a lot of times they're even uncomfortable with terms like marketing and like sales. They tend to be engineering technical people first. So the term we use a lot with them is client creation. It's about what's needed to create those opportunities, create those instances where you can help your clients, because that's in a service-oriented business, that's really what you're doing. You're helping your clients. So once you take that perspective, um, marketing and sales is then a blend of activities. It's not really this is marketing job and it gets thrown over the fence. It's how can collaboratively can you work together to first attract the clients, and then, as you well know, um, uh, marketing carries through and with winning the opportunities.
I absolutely love how you put that, and that's how it should be right there. So client, what'd you call it? New client acquisition,
Client creation.
client creation, and also growing within existing accounts, right? So
Yeah.
how can sales and marketing collaboratively work on that? And sometimes I think companies do get focused on new client creation so much that they lose sight on, the your next best client might be your existing one.
Oh, absolutely. That's a key question, and the process is, what are you doing to remarket yourself to your existing clients? I mean, as you well know, and particularly in the system integration business, um, getting to the first project is hard. So once you have a client, then being able to find more business with that client is gold, right? You've done all the work to get engaged. How can you stay engaged? So we do counsel our clients and how to do that effectively. It can be as simple as having a client satisfaction process where you follow up with the client 3-6 months down the road and just ask them simple questions like, how satisfied were you with our service? If they say they're very satisfied, then you can come back with, how can we further delight you, right? And stay engaged that way. I have one client who actually the president of the company sees it as his responsibility to do that client
Oh,
survey.
wow.
I think a lot of times it's delegated to the salesperson. I think that's a fine process because it's the sales guy who's in best position to root out what the next opportunity is. But yeah, it should be part of a service business's strategy to have that follow-up process and both market and sell back into to the existing clients.
Yeah, and that probably the underlying point here is that it happens, and there's a methodology. Who does it? How do they go about doing that? And it's not just left to chance.
I mean, it's so easy for the temptation is, kind of project's done,
Yeah,
on to the next
sure.
one. And they need to develop the sophistication, whether it's through their CRM system or whatnot, to have a way to go back and re-engage those clients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if we have business owners or marketers listening to this, knowing that they're pretty deficient when it comes to having a formalized business strategy and plan, does your website have some resources where they can go and maybe learn more?
Yeah, absolutely. It's our company, exotek.com. And yeah, we've got the site organized into different areas, but certainly the resources section is we've kind of organized it by, if you need help with strategic planning, or there's a section on project management, there's a section on all the kind of key areas of being successful at system integration. And you're welcome to review any of the content there, or simply reach out and let us know what you're being challenged by. We often say we're here to listen and help. That's really our job.
Yeah. And Exotek is spelled Exotek for those of you listening. So it's a great website, lots of me resources there. So go check it out. And then listeners can connect with you, I suppose, on LinkedIn. Is that the best place, Jack?
Yep, that's fine. That's a great way to start.
All right. Well, any parting advice for our listeners?
I guess parting advice, My first one is just do it. As far as the fall planning is concerned, it's so easy to get focused at what we say focused in your business, working on what's right in front of you, the projects you need to get done, the customers you need to satisfy, but really to take the time to work on the business itself and get out of the office to do it. There's a difference between kind of daily management and strategic planning. So it's best if you can carve out, a couple days. Even Exotek is a small 3-person company. We do the same thing. We carve out 2 days and we get offsite where we can actually focus on the business. Where are we trying to get to? How are we trying to get there? And have those frank dialogues and discussions. From that, your business plans will become pretty clear, and the benefit to whoever is responsible for your marketing is then they know both where you're trying to get and the business plan of what you're trying to accomplish in the next year. And those 2 things will tremendously help.
Exactly.
Your
And the
marketers.
sooner the better before the year starts, so that marketer has some runway to meet all those KPIs and do great things
now
for
you're
you.
asking for too much there, Wendy.
A girl can dream. Oh, well, thank you so much for being on the show today, Jack. This was great advice. And I encourage everybody to go visit exotek.com for more information.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope by helping our clients create good strategies and plans, that'll make y'all's marketing efforts all that much better.
There you go. Thanks, Jack.
All right. Have a good day.
Visit truemarketing.com/podcast for notes and resource links from today's episode. While you're there, learn other ways to grow your business with content marketing, from educational resources such as self-paced training to hands-on services by the expert TREW marketing team. You can also order my book, also named Content Marketing Engineered. Thanks, and have a great day.